Check it out, guys. I got the disc hair of my dreams. Hopefully. I've not actually gotten to try this thing, but I decided that I was going to till up and plant at least 4 of my hay fields this year, and it's pretty much high time to do that, and I was going to need something to till them up with, so I bought this. This is an 8-foot wide Rhino by Athens, whatever that means, model 127. And I feel like I did pretty well on this. I've owned it for several days now. I bought it last week. I'm just getting around to unloading it right now because I've been doing other stuff. And essentially, this is different than a regular disc harrow, which is used primarily as a finishing tool, like to smooth out plowed ground. This is a tillage tool. It's only 8 feet wide, but it's probably going to take my biggest tractor here, that Case, or the Zetter 7711 at a minimum to move this thing. It weighs a lot more than regular disc harrow, so that pushes it down in the ground more. It should be able to do a lot more work, and I'm really excited about this. I was looking for one of these for a while. You know, my options for buying a new one, which is what sounded best, but it's hard to find one in this size. The smallest this style of disc that I saw was about 10 feet wide. Now, I'm sure someone makes an 8-foot tandem or whatever, but they're pretty few and far between. Or my options were spend a tenth as much as new on one that was just like a bombed out wreck and needed everything. Like, I was looking at listings for these on the internet. Some of them are missing like this full gang of disc harrows, or like, you know, half of that at least. And you know, it's just really nasty, messed up machinery. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That would be a great project and an excellent way to save money if I had more time and I wasn't so busy already. But you know, with both of those going on, I decided I was going to splurge and spend a third as much as a new one on this. It looks like a pretty solid used one. Now, obviously it is not an especially beautiful thing, but it's got all the scrapers on it. These rear blades are, some of them are more worn than others, but they have a lot of life left in them. What I really like is these front blades are all brand new. Look at that. And they're actually American made. Okay, so that really wasn't how I like to do things, to be honest, but nothing really got damaged to speak of. Just, you know, a couple scratches on the trailer deck and the driveway's a little torn up. And compared to mixing filth in that cylinder with hundreds of dollars of synthetic transmission fluid in that tractor, this is a much preferable alternative. So, as you can see, the disc is off, and so now what I'm gonna do is take the Zetter out and try to shred that field. You know, hopefully it doesn't explode again, because that's what happened 2 years ago, last time I tried to use it for actual field work. So this is kind of a test of the engine break-in, but assuming it doesn't and everything goes well, I'll come back tonight, unhook the mower, hook this up to it, and we're going out to the field tomorrow. So that's going to be an interesting adventure. But yeah, about this disc harrow, I don't really know much about it. I've never owned anything from Rhino before. So I've heard of Athens. Evidently Athens makes a pretty good quality disc harrow. I don't know, I've also never owned one of those, but when I was researching this, a lot of people compare some of the cheaper makes to Athens discs. So evidently that's a thing, and if this is by them, you know, maybe they're the ones who built it and Rhino sold it or whatever. So hopefully it's the greatest disc harrow ever invented by mankind. I don't really know, we're gonna find out though. I'll show you this. This has 24-inch blades on it, I think. Maybe they're 22s. They're all notched blades, so they, you know, they slice into sod a lot better, except for the one on the outside, which is smooth. And there's a reason for that. It, like, you know, prevents a ridge or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things. But let's see here. We got Ford Tractors and Equipment, Huntsville Ford Tractors, Huntsville, Texas. So I think that's, I don't know if I've ever been there, but I'm pretty sure that's close to Houston. So it migrated up north like 3 hours I think from where the dealership was I bought it from. One thing about these and most disc harrows is you can adjust how aggressively they cut, and basically there's this giant quote-unquote U-bolt here. Really, this is like 2 bolts, which probably cost a few dollars extra, but it should be stronger because it's squeezing from both ends. We loosen these bolts, we take them out, and then we can pivot this through any combination of these holes that we want. And the straighter this is, the less these blades are gonna like scoop into the ground, if that makes sense. So right now it's kind of set in the middle, but I'm probably gonna adjust this. I don't know, we'll play with it. I'll take some wrenches out to the field in case I want to adjust it there, but I'll probably make it a little less aggressive because I just kind of want to loosen the ground so I can add additional seed to all the stuff that's growing out there right now. What I'm hoping to do is plant some stuff that's going to get ahead of some of the weeds that are out in these fields and just add volume, because people who buy hay, from my experience, unless you're going to advertise yourself as a premium, you know, product, which I like the idea of, honestly, but I'm not going to invest the amount of money required to get a premium product off of fields that I don't actually own, because for all I know I won't be there again next year. So I'm going the other route, which is the biggest venue for hay sales from what I've seen, and that is just like people who buy tools or equipment or anything. The main thing they care about is how cheap is it. So I need a lot of cheap bulk volume, because I mean that's just what they want to buy, so it's my job to supply it basically. And it has to be clean. There can't be like garbage and thorns and that kind of stuff in there. It's going to injure animals. So cheap and clean. I'll talk about what I have in mind, but if it works, it should supply both of those things. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, this is the nicest disc harrow I've ever owned. I used to have, back when I lived in Ohio, I had, I think, a 6-foot one, but it was a 3-point disc and it didn't weigh very much, so it didn't really cut into the ground very well. And here I used to have, I think that was also a 6-foot one, but it was a lighter built, like one of the angle iron 6-foot ones. And I used that on my garden. It worked, but I have a tiller now, so I sold that thing and I put the money towards this indirectly. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty good heavy deal. This is, I'm gonna guess 2x4 rectangular tube. I don't know how thick, probably 1/4 inch or whatever, but these welds, they look pretty clean, they look pretty smooth. They've held for 50 years at this point, or 30. I don't really know, to be honest. So, you know, but they've held long enough to be proven. I am gonna stick another hydraulic cylinder on this because you can see this is all like rusty and pitted. It's probably a precautionary measure, but you know, I saved a lot of money on this as opposed to buying it new, and I just like knowing my stuff is reliable and ready to go, so it's worth the investment of $100 to $200 for a new cylinder. Yeah, and of course none of this fits. I don't think this is the original cylinder. I think this is a farmer fix. You know, the old one blew out some seals or whatever and they just swapped it. So, but yeah, look at that shiny new disc blades. And I got to figure out how this adjustment works. Doesn't look all that complicated. And I guess it used to have a jack on the front of it, like a trailer jack, but of course that's long gone. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting year. A little anxious. I'm venturing out further into agricultural stuff that I have previously, on account of now I'm trying to plant things and make them grow and not just mow, you know, whatever shrubs happen beyond the field when I get to it. So this is gonna be interesting, and just a random vlog. I'm super thankful for this thing, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more random videos, content coming later.